Start now,
Yes.
and I will send you the link if you want to share. Here
Yeah.
it is
Let me.
again. Okay, so
Can you send it to? Oh, yeah. Thanks for the link, man.
yeah, don't worry, it's fine. If you want it in Instagram or
Yeah, I shared
in
the cred link in Instagram already. So, but I can share it afterwards. That's also
okay,
fine.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Of
already
course.
shared it in Facebook now. Let's see.
Cool.
Let's wait a couple of minutes so people will start joining us.
Yeah.
Welcome to the people that are coming. Bienvenidos. Okay, so let's have a couple of minutes. So this interview is in Spanish, so you have to be ready for
Okay. That's it's gonna be a challenge. I
it.
have Google Translate there, by the way, so I can just.
Cool. You should start looking for it.
I actually want to learn Spanish. I think it's a really beautiful language. And it's very international as well.
Come on, go for it. Go for it. It's not so easy, but
Yeah, but Dutch is harder.
I guess so.
Yeah, it's a weird language sometimes.
Yeah, a friend once told me that the life is too short to learn Dutch.
Sounds like this.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I'm going to learn French.
Yeah.
French
Yeah,
is
French
easier,
is
by the
also
way.
hard.
Okay. So I think we can start now.
Okay,
And
cool.
people will start joining, and if they don't, doesn't matter. The video is going to be live, so it's okay.
It's okay.
So welcome. Well, I'm going to do the introduction in Spanish first, and then I will start talking to
Yeah,
you in
yeah.
English. Bueno, bienvenidos a todos ustedes a este CRAD Live número 39. Ya vamos 39 episodios de CRAD Live y tenemos un invitado súper especial hoy que estará con nosotros hablando un poco de ilustración, un poco de concept art, un poco de personajes. Así que, sin más preámbulos, quiero darle la bienvenida a Saverio Wielkens. Saverio, thank you very much for being with us. Thank you very much for
Thank you for
accepting the invitation.
thank you for inviting me, man. I really look forward to talking to you. Yeah,
Cool, man,
let's go.
cool. Let's have a nice talk. And first of all, I would like to start asking you to give us like an introduction of you. Who are you? Maybe part of your path so people can understand who are you.
Mhm. Yeah, so I'm currently working in animation. I do a lot of design, characters, illustrations as well. Um, I have a background in game art, so I studied game art for a couple of years, and after that I wanted to expand my vocabulary with animation. So I tried to see different industry as well. Um, I graduated back in 2018, so I'm still pretty new, like
Cool.
professionally wise. But I've done a lot of stuff in between as well. I've always been drawing, uh, yeah, since I was little, actually. And there was like some things were always um, in my work. For example, I like colors. I've always liked colors, and that's something I always took into my work. And so currently, I'm actually freelancing a lot. I'm also doing some teaching aside from that, and yeah, I try to mix education, like commercial work and
Okay.
personal work. So that's
That's
my life at the moment.
that's
Drawing a lot.
amazing. That's amazing
Yeah.
because was studying, one of the biggest struggles that I had was that some teachers didn't work in the industry. So it was hard to believe in them, kind of,
Hmm.
because their work is pure theoretic, and sometimes they haven't started to work in the industry. So it's hard to balance that, like
Yeah.
that feeling, you know.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Back when I studied the game art, I had a teacher and she was giving us like the 2D classes, but she had like a different background, so it's hard to it's I think you
Yeah.
recognize a person when their background is more in your same field
Field.
of interest. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that's amazing.
in my animation class, I had like a really good teacher, and he's also a director, and so I learned a lot from him, and also did an internship at his place. So that was really nice to have a person from the industry, like you said. Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool, and that's why I think it's nice that you're working in the industry, but also you're giving some classes, and you're like in this field of education and uh, experience work. You know, that I think that's a really good combination, and I think that's the best. I have a lot of friends that are doing 3D or 2D, and they're also giving classes in different universities. So
Nice,
it's
nice.
nice. It's nice because that's how
Yeah,
the industry start to work, to
yeah.
grow. You know.
To
That's so
share
cool.
knowledge,
Exactly,
exactly.
like real experience, you know, real experience.
I
That's
think
amazing.
I think the nice part of sharing knowledge is because when I gave a class in character design to the art school one, and you have to think about how your process is. You know, you have to break down your own work and how can I translate this so other people can understand it as well. So that's also a moment to reflect, and I really like that part of it. So you want to communicate something, but you also have to communicate with yourself.
That's a really good question. You know, I would like to start with it. I mean,
Okay.
how sometimes clients have an idea, you know, but how your personal experience help to make that idea come true, how client wants to, without being uh, how say it, being true to your style. You know what I mean? Kind of.
Yeah, yeah. Like I think you mean I'm not sure. Like keeping a part of yourself in your work while working for someone else.
Yeah, yeah, kind of
Something.
like that. That's
Okay.
perfect. You read my mind.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Actually, I do it like this, but I try to. I think it's about finding common ground. So the client has a request, and but you also have your artistic input, and I really like to know the person that I'm working with in some way. So you know, okay, how this person thinks like this. So if I make stuff like this, then we have a match. So I try to uh, wait for a minute. I think that's a more important part. I
Okay.
always try to when I make something, I try to be happy with it myself. And because when you're happy with your work, I think you can see it in the work. Um, and then I think the client also can feel the enthusiasm in the work. But it depends. Sometimes I had to work in a really different style, but I think that's also a good experience to work with like different styles. But most of the time, I try to give some of my own flavor. Um, Sometimes the request is very they know all the parts of the project, so
Specific.
you're really constrained.
Yeah. Okay.
You get what I mean? There are borders made for the project, but even within those borders, you can just still find some uh, artistic freedom. I try to still play around with what I have. Long answer.
No, that's cool. That's cool because
Yeah.
I think that's why in a way you get the job. You know, because people and clients love your style. So it's kind of part of the work that they need, that you put part of your style there, you know, and your experience.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
Yeah. I
cool.
think.
That's cool.
Yeah. And sometimes you work with someone that's maybe a bit less creative, and then it's nice to see when you take the idea and do your interpretation on it, and they're like, "Whoa, that's cool. We haven't thought of it like that," uh, and I really like that moment.
That's cool, man, because
Yeah.
they understand your experience and your creative process, and they are agree with it's cool sometimes because they give you more freedom, creative freedom, you know, to do the job.
Yeah. But it has two ways, you know. Sometimes it doesn't work, and then you have to take it and just do something else. But I think that's a big part of it as well, and that's something you have to learn along the way.
It's part
So
of the
yeah,
experience, part of the process.
yeah. I'm
Yeah,
still
sometimes.
learning a lot, so
Yeah, I will ask about your style later.
mm,
But first of all, you said you started game design, but game
yeah.
design as an artist, or game design
Well,
as like a storyteller and as a programmer, or as a, you
it's
know.
actually really interesting. It's a good question. I started this back in 2010, and the study or the course was called game design.
Okay.
But in the first year, it was actually a mixed class between artists and programmers. So
Okay.
the word design didn't fit the description of the course. So in the second year, when I studied there, it changed into game art and game development. So it's split into
Oh,
two
cool.
sections. But the fun part of that first year was that we had like a mixed class with developers and artists, and you get like an understanding from both perspectives. So that was a really nice moment, a nice period to share different thoughts on the same project. So you get the feeling how a programmer thinks, and they get to know how you think, and that was a part of my life when I really felt that it's good to understand different sides. Uh, because you always have to work with people. I think in this industry, and it's
Yeah.
good to sometimes get out of your own vision and just try to understand someone else.
I think that's so important. I mean, I studied multimedia engineering, so it's kind of like what you said.
Yeah,
So, but the whole career is about programming and also game art and also animation. So
cool.
it's like a mix between development and art and animation. And the first years is like pure mathematics and pure science. So it's kind of
Awesome.
a
Yeah,
weird mix, but somehow we know how the whole process works. You know, how to understand the programming, how to understand the render processes, how to understand a lot of technical stuff, and these are in a way these are constraints for us. You know, so it's important for us to learn and to understand
yeah,
how the industry works, like in the other side.
yeah. And I think if you know the constraints, like you said, you can figure out ways to make still make stuff, but within those constraints, so you can just think, yeah, be creative. Actually, I think, and
I
yeah,
think that's a good idea. I mean, if you know a lot of stuff, you can be more creative, knowing different things, and this is a positive point for you that a lot of professionals don't have. You know, because their experience is just pure art and they don't know anything about technical stuff. So it's like
yeah, yeah.
a point for you.
It is. Yeah, it is.
That's
It is.
cool. That's
Yeah,
cool,
but
man.
I think the same goes with, and that's what I learned later. Because we did, I did the game art study, like I said, and that was, I think, a big part of it was technical. So that we learned how to create stuff and how to make stuff work within a game. So it wasn't about the content. It was more about how to make stuff.
Cool.
Um, and when I did the animation course, it was more about storytelling, and that was something I had to learn later on. So instead of making stuff, it was about what do you want to communicate with the work you're making. So actually, I had the technical skills, or certain amount of technical skills, and then I had to learn like a lot of storytelling, and I think that's the most for me. It's I think more important at the moment to communicate something with the work I make.
That's so important, man. And yeah, a lot of people focus on technical stuff, and I think it's cool and it's important.
Yeah, it is. It
But the
is.
thing is that they get stuck in that. You know, they get stuck in technical stuff, but they don't understand that the real power of this industry is to tell stories. So
It is. Yeah.
as an illustrator, as a concept artist, as a 3D character artist that I am, as an animator, we need to tell stories. And the idea is to
Yeah.
communicate our stories through our art. And
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
this is like something that people don't know, and people try to try to focus a lot of time in technical stuff, and they think that it's super cool and super nice. But if they don't communicate anything, it's like, okay, what's the point about
It's
it?
just it's just yeah. I think
It's
it's
cool,
sometimes it's
but
just another image. Yeah, but it's like you said. It's sometimes the concept is really important, and for me that's what I like about good concept art is it's not as specifically how it looks, but more what the concept is of the stuff that we are seeing, and if it conveys an emotion or an idea, I think then it's a good concept.
yeah,
But I think and learning the storytelling or the concept part, I think it comes with experience. When you, for example, when you go outside and take a look at the world and try to look at the world through your eyes and how do I see, how do I interpret the, you know what I'm trying to say,
yeah, kind of.
how I see the world and if you get a certain understanding of what's important for you, I think you can start communicating things in your way. Uh, but yeah,
That's I think that's the hardest part.
and it's yeah, and
That's the
it's abstract.
hardest part.
You can't teach someone something like that. It's something. Yeah, what I said. It's about experience and um, being wanting to tell stories at a certain point, wanting to communicate something.
Yeah, it's a thing that I struggle a lot sometimes, because it's hard to. First of
Same.
all, the hardest part of this, I think, is what do you want to communicate. You know, it's not about how you do it, but what do you want to communicate.
Yeah.
When you know that, it's easier to find the visual language, to do it. But if you don't know
But
what are you want to communicate, it's hard. And as you said, one day I had a conference, and a girl, I guess from Pixar, said that if you tell what's important for you, this is going to be meaningful for a lot of people. But the hardest
yeah,
part, but sometimes I feel like, what's important for you? This is
yeah,
not an easy question.
but that I think that's the philosophical the question about life. You know, what about life is important for you. But yeah, do you have something at the moment that you're like a subject where you're very interested in or thinking about a lot?
I've been recently. I've been so into portraits.
Hmm.
I mean, I've been doing characters for all my life. I love them. I find them so interesting, both realistic and both fictional characters. I think
Hmm.
it's a whole world, and I love to communicate their struggles. Like,
Ah,
it's
yeah,
not just for example, when I do monsters, or when I do aliens, or when I do whatever I want to do, I try not just to do the typical big guy, super, super furious and super big and whatever, but also like, how does this guy feeling? How does this guy feel?
yeah.
In certain situations. What if a big alien, super strong, feels like bad because you know all his family was dead? For
That's
example, kind of like
interesting.
that.
Yeah, that's actually I think that's character design. You're actually thinking about the character, not necessarily the visual part, but with his story. Like why is he afraid of that, or why is he mad about that, and why does he behave like he does? Yeah, nice man. I think that are those are the questions I try to ask myself sometimes as well when creating something or a character. What kind of character is it? How does the character responds to a different kind of person, or um, what kind of role does he have in the world that he lives in?
Exactly. It's not easy.
Yeah,
It's not easy, but
it is.
it's kind of understand the personality of the character, understand their struggles. And one day I had the chance to talk to Eben Mel Amundsen, and he was like,
Cool.
if you want to draw a character, he's like, you need to know how he breathes, how he walks, how he goes to the bathroom.
Yeah,
And I was like, I have never thought about it. I mean, for sure, but he was super, super, super I don't know how to say that. super focus on that part. You know, you need to
Mm-hmm.
understand so much your character as if it is your hand. When you understand your character in that way, you can now design it. But if you don't understand it, how can you design it? So he was like
Exactly.
how he breathes, how he walks, how he goes to the bathroom, how he runs. What if this happens? What if this happens? What if he has just one eye? What if he has just one leg? How he's going to walk? No,
Yeah, exactly.
and
Yeah,
this gives you
yeah.
like the pose. It's super interesting. I mean,
It is super interesting, and I think especially for like the storytelling industry, like games or animation or maybe illustrations as well. If you know your character, it's way easier to know how they behave, like I said, and but that's also it's a big process because sometimes a character grows with you while creating it. Sometimes you think, oh, maybe this character is behaves different.
yeah,
Uh,
I think it's part of the creative process. I guess.
it is, yeah, yeah, and I think it's also about observing life, like people around you. Why are the people around you the way they are, and then everyone has their own backstory, and sometimes taking stuff out of life is also a nice resource to use in a fictional character as well. I try to think of people that I know and try to take elements from that and put it in a character. Not necessarily the visual part, but um, like their story.
The
Put it
behavior.
in the character. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
yeah, that's super nice. Tell us a bit about what's your object of study? I mean, characters or animals or creatures or what do you want to work when you do your stuff?
Um, can you specify the question a little bit more?
I'm sorry. What do you want to communicate through your art?
Yeah, okay, that's a good one. I think mostly the I think emotions.
Okay.
Um, some people like I'm gonna make a really weird example or not, but some abstract painters they try to convey their emotions or a concept within maybe some abstract brushstrokes, but I try to communicate some of that, but in my characters. Like when I feel a certain way, I try to not make it literally. For if I'm sad, I'm not gonna draw a sad character, but it can have an impact on how I draw my character. Sometimes I really like to have um, to make jokes. A lot
Okay.
of my characters have like small funny things in them, and not all people find it funny, but I find it funny. So my last drawing is about this creature with a lot of. He has a passion for tea. He likes tea a lot, so everything he wears is about tea. So he's like a tea cup or tea cap. How you call it?
That's cool.
And his he has like a towel as a body piece, and it's actually like in Dutch we have like the tea towels, so that's that's a small reference to that. And he has like a spoon as a necklace. So there's a lot of I like to put uh, I think humor. I like to put humor in my characters. Um, and sometimes it has like a bigger concept. So I did a robot challenge before I did the March of Robot. I did like some robots in like casual streetwear, but it's also about like a reflection um, on the society. Like we're the people. Some people are acting like they're programmed. So we're doing a lot of routine stuff. We're checking our phones, we're waking up, we're making food. So there's a lot of routine. So it almost feels like we're programmed. And so the bigger concept about that is sometimes we act like robots ourselves, and but we're also trying to create artificial intelligence, or we also like to create robots. But what does it mean to create intelligence? And I think we have to reflect on ourselves to do that. So that's like a bigger story in some of my characters as well. So I like to sometimes it's about humor, sometimes it's like a bigger concept, and sometimes I did like a short animation with a friend of mine in February.
Cool.
And it was about this kid that does some spray painting. It's on my Instagram, and but we were thinking about why does he do that? What's his story? So then, by talking about it, then his story grows, and you can think of a world where he lives in, and in that world you can think of more characters. So I like to connect stuff as well.
That's so good, and that's a really good question. You know, what does it mean to being alive?
Yeah. Whoa.
That's crazy. Like,
Yes. I want to, yeah. Let me tell you a funny story.
go.
I did animation study, but after that I studied philosophy for half a year
Cool.
because I was very interested in because during our art school philosophy had like a really big was a really big part of our study. So
Okay.
60% was art, but 40% was reflection and yeah, and thinking about your process, thinking about your place in the
Nice.
world. So it's a lot of big stuff, but um, because of that, I was really interested in knowing more about why we behave a certain way. I was really interested in subconscious, especially for artists, because a lot of stuff we do, some of it we do conscious, but a big part we do subconsciously or intuitively, and that's sometimes it's about knowledge and how does knowledge, um, how do we translate knowledge into art. So I wanted to study philosophy to just to learn about asking questions and how to continue
That's
digging deeper.
that's cool. That's part of understanding what do you want to communicate. You know, and
Exactly.
sometimes
Yeah.
I feel like the same. Like I try to be so philosophical about life, and nowadays I'm trying to understand more culture. Yeah, I mean
Mm-hmm.
your own culture
Cool.
and how can you translate your own culture through your art? How can you translate? How can
Yeah.
you communicate part of your culture and your country, for example, through your art without telling it like so literally? You
Yeah.
know,
Exactly.
I
Without
mean,
taking this.
it's
Yeah.
hard. It's hard, but it's cool. So philosophy is like a big part of art as well. I think it's a good combination. That's amazing. Man.
I think it goes hand in hand because there's somebody making the art and that's the artist and I think the artist has is a complex being as well, uh, and it's really nice that we as artists can take something complex and make it visual.
Yeah,
Uh, and I sometimes say it's hard. For example, like you're saying, like putting like a cultural part into your work without telling it's the cultural part. Uh, but yeah, I think that makes the work even stronger if we manage to get a grasp on what we're doing and how we can do that.
yeah. It's just like for example, put some colors that are so used in your country, like in your artistic, I don't know, in the artists of their country, what kind of colors do they use and why do they use them? So use them in your artwork. People are not going to know why are you using those colors, but you know that it's part of a big, you know, a big cultural stuff
It
around it,
is,
you know. So
yeah,
it
yeah.
is so interesting that part.
But, yeah, small question: do you have like current cultural parts that you really like to put in your work or that's already in your work?
Actually, kind of. There's a. I was born in a small city in the south of Colombia, and some people don't know too much about it. And I am so proud of being part of that city. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, there's a specific symbol that is so cultural in that city. Is like a indigenous. I don't know how to say that. Like
Yeah,
native
native. Yeah.
symbol of that city, and it's like a star, like a yeah, I don't know how to say it, but it's a star. And since like some days ago, some months ago, I started to do some drawings and
Mm-hmm.
put that star in all of them. You know, I did a
Oh,
like
okay.
a
Yeah.
robot with a big star here and with a big star here, and I am trying to put that cultural stuff in my work.
Nice.
I'm trying, for example, to do this alien 3D that I am doing it, and the idea is that when I present it, I will try to put some of this, specific cultural part of my city in that alien. So it's cool because it's an alien. So, it's
Yeah,
a big
it is.
alien, and people will think that it's so fictional. But what if I can put some, some
Some
parts on
relatable stuff.
some
Yeah,
exactly. So that's
yeah.
the idea. That's the idea of what I'm trying to explore in my art these days.
Ah, nice, man. I really like that. I actually I'm working for quite a while on my own personal. It's a short film, uh, but I also try to put some cultural stuff in it subconsciously because I do live in the Netherlands. I
Cool.
grew up here. I was born here, but my parents they grew up in Suriname. So that's in South America. Maybe I think you know it.
What,
uh,
what is the name?
Suriname.
Suriname?
Yeah,
I don't know what is
but
that.
it's very tropical there.
Okay.
But I went there like a couple of years ago, and we went into the jungle with some native people. I also have family there, but a lot of stuff that I've seen there, I really felt connected with it, and in a strange way. And I was like, whoa, this is like a really different visual language than we have here in the Netherlands. And wouldn't it be cool if I can use some of those visual elements and maybe I can translate it and make it my own and put it in my work somehow. Because I also,
Yeah,
even
man.
though I somehow I felt connected with that culture as well, because I somehow have a connection with it. And I was like, because when you grow up in a certain place, you get to see certain like visuals, like you get certain um, kid stories, you see certain cartoons. Um, but sometimes it's good to break out of your own bubble, and
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
be open for new. I knew I call it, yeah, like visual input, or your visual expand your visual knowledge.
The,
And because I think in your country there are way different visual things than we have here, and it's really nice to see those differences and put it in your work, and then show your people or your environment what you've seen. I think that's
exactly.
what I try to do.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing, and you put a really good point of it because if all of us, I can imagine that if all of us artists have their same references, as you said, Cartoon Network, all the cartoons
Yeah,
and the movies and the sci-fi movies and the action movies, we all have the same references. We'll
and the
have the
same, maybe the
same
same
visual
interests as
language.
well.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So how can we improve? How can we innovate in that field if we have the same references? So being surrounded by this kind of cultural stuff and maybe some ancient symbols and
yeah,
ancient colors and whatever it is can bring us a different flavor, and
it does.
we can
Yeah,
put our own mark in our work, and it's going to be different from everything else because we have another reference. We don't have just
it
the same Arnold Schwarzenegger movies.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. But for example, this I think is a really simple example because we have like Hollywood, but you also have Bollywood, and you have Nollywood.
What is
So
Nollywood?
Nollywood is from Africa.
Okay, I didn't know that.
But all three are really different, but they all have their own visual way of telling stories. And um, just by seeing those differences, I think there's a lot of to explore. And I think within the industry there are things that already work. Some stuff that is popular, we know. Okay, this works. Um, but it's so that's I think it's important to keep innovating, and sometimes it's a challenge to take something new or something you're not comfortable with and put it in, and try to mix it up with stuff that you've already know and try to create something new out of it. But I think
Yeah,
that's the way
that's
forward.
cool.
I think that's the way how we can expand this, because if I create something that you haven't seen and you create something that I haven't seen, we expand our visual library again with each
Exactly,
other's work.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking. Everything is going to expand our visual library, and why not?
It
You
is.
know,
It is.
everything's that's why traveling is so important as well. Knowing the world,
Yeah.
go to travels, go to different countries, trying to understand different cultures and different, visual languages that they have can improve us and can make us, increase our visual languages and our visual libraries. That is the most important thing that I think
Yeah.
I found as being an
Yeah.
artist. I mean, if you have a visual library, you have a lot of um, a lot of symbols that you can use.
Hmm.
Language that you can use.
Exactly. And they all serve a purpose. You don't just made it up. It has like it's grounded in reality, and you can use it as an element to empower your work. But I also think about meeting new people, talking with people that can also expand your knowledge and also your visual knowledge some way. Even though we're just talking, I can already imagine stuff.
Yeah, that's and you can. What I learned someday is that everyone can teach you something. So being so open to learn from everyone, open to understand what their life is. Trying to be empathic. I don't know how to say that in
Yeah,
English.
yeah,
Yeah.
empathy. Yeah.
So that's good as well. Well, we're moving in a different field. I want to ask
Okay,
you
that's good.
something to come back.
Yeah,
Um, how do you choose your color palette? Because I
yeah,
think I think for me it's so cool. I love the way you use the colors, and that's amazing. When you show me your work, I was like, wow, I need to understand how this guy uses his color because it's super saturated, super like brilliant colors, and they look so good. They match
thanks,
perfectly.
man.
So
Yeah, thanks. I think I can't give a short answer because my short answer would be I do it intuitively, but it's not that simple. Because a couple of years ago, maybe 2 3 years ago, I was also thinking about how do I pick my colors because I wanted to know it because I was doing the philosophy as well,
okay,
and it started like way back. I always wanted to. I did some graffiti when I was younger,
cool.
uh, and we just had like some bright colors. We didn't have because it was really expensive to buy a lot of different kind of colors and different kind of cans. So we just had to make it work. Um, so you had to think, okay, I have these three colors. How can I make the the sketch
Okay,
fit the color? So you try to match them some way. And um, for example, if you have like a red, you have like a silver, and you have like a green, and you want to emphasize the red, then the green is going to be an accent, and the gray is going to help pop the red. So I think it's about having feeling the balance, but I think you have to see it a lot and practice it a lot to make it intuitive. So when I pick my colors, and that's coming back to the answer.
yeah, yeah.
Um, that's in the beginning. I was always telling myself maybe I'm not good at this or that, but I'm good at colors, and I didn't know why I said that. But because when back in art school we had to paint from life, so we had to paint the model, um, and we had to start with black and white, and we had to use acrylic paint, and we started painting the model. And
With black and
I,
white,
I
like
couldn't, yeah, I
values.
couldn't do that. Yeah, I couldn't do that, and I didn't know why. Why can I do this? We had also to paint. We had like a piece of paper with a lot of it was like a checker pattern with different kind of colors on it, but we had just to paint the values with black and white, and I just can't. I couldn't do it. I was like, why can't I paint? And then like a couple of weeks later, we um, we were introduced to colors. That was the new challenge. You can use colors now. Do the same exercise, and um, I didn't knew the color theory behind it, so I just put everything on my paper and I start blending intuitively, and that's when I learned that creating something, everything has colors, and everything has a lot of colors. So skin has a lot of colors. Fabric has more. Like the shirt I'm wearing is it's green, but it's not just green when you're painting it.
Yeah.
So I learned about how colors complement each other, and my hat has also a lot of colors.
I love
But
that hat, man.
I always try to pick a main color when coloring a character or coloring an illustration, um, and then I try to look for colors that complement it. And what I mean by with the complementing it is like what I said about the spray paints. Uh, if I have red and I want red to be important, I choose colors aside from it that help the red
To pop up.
be more bright, be
Cool.
more brighter red. Uh, so yeah, so that's an answer. And same with when you when you paint black, some colors feel darker than black when you put a different color next to it. You can use a really dark blue and put it next to an orange, and the dark blue feels really dark. So I like to play with that. Uh, um, yeah, because it's also it's a visual thing, and I like to challenge myself with limiting my palette. So okay, I'll just use 3 colors, and then I'll just try to make a cool design just by using these 3 colors.
Cool,
And
man.
for the last 100 days, I did it also because it's more efficient time wise. So when you're thinking time,
Yeah.
but
And
and
you don't
you
go to blending a lot of in your paintings. It's just like plain colors, like
yeah, yeah, yeah. I used to blend a lot. That was back when I did the game art.
okay.
I liked I did paint. I painted more. I did some more realistic stuff. But after a while, I got back because I did cartoony stuff before that, and then I did the realistic part. And in some way, I got back to making like crazy creatures. Then I did the art school. We had to paint from life, so I drawn really differently. And then I got back to doing the stuff what I do now. So it's everything that I've done is put into the place where I am at the moment.
That's
Uh,
important, man.
yeah,
And I can feel it. I mean, I can see your characters that are strong, as well as your work in your creatures and in your robots and in your animals, and they are
thanks.
strong because even if they are stylized, I know for sure that you've done a lot of realistic stuff. So some people don't understand that doing realistic stuff and learning the rules is going to help them to improve their stylized work,
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah,
Like,
that's true, man. Actually, I wrote we had to write an essay in our school when I was graduating, and one of my chapters was about that specific part. For example, like the Mondrian. Do you know the painter? Yeah, and Mondrian, but he made like really abstract compositions with the primary colors like red, yellow, blue,
who's this
and
guy?
and
Who's
some.
this guy? I will look for it. Look for him.
Um, Let me maybe I can write it. I'll
Yeah,
can send you. I'll send you through Instagram.
go, go for it. Here we have Juan Camilo Ocampo. Bienvenido, Juan
Oh,
Camilo. He's asking, what's your art station? I don't know if you have your art station uploaded,
my art station is just my name, my
upgraded.
full
Sorry.
name, but I have to. I haven't touched it for a while because I find it really hard to manage all my social media. So I'm planning to hop on ArtStation again. I'm probably also gonna do a Twitter because Instagram is not making it really easy for artists to connect with a lot of people. So I'm gonna expand my social media again.
Yeah, that's a big problem of art station as well. I mean, I only put my portfolio there when I have like a full finished part, but sometimes it's easier and is quicker and is sometimes better to put it in Instagram, like just work in progress. Because
Yeah,
why
maybe
not? I
I
mean,
yeah maybe I
last time
uh,
I was asking myself, and I wanted to ask on the people in CRAD, when do you know that an artwork is finished? How do you know that it's finished or not? Who says that?
Yeah, that I think there's multiple answers to that. Some people say an art is never finished. You always can go back and refine it and but at the same time, um, you have. I think it's good to just say okay, it's done. That's why I did the challenge. So I did a piece for every day, and every day I had to say to myself, okay, it's done, and don't touch it anymore. And
Okay,
next,
cool.
and that's why I post stuff, because when I post it, for me personally, it's done. I'm not gonna touch it anymore. Um, and then sometimes you think, oh, I could have improved on this part, or I could have improved on that part. I'll just put it in the next work. I'll just put those learnings into the next one. Uh, but some days you can also tell yourself, okay, for this specific piece, I want to take 3 days or 4 days, and then you can just work on it for 4 days, and then you'll say, okay, I'm not gonna touch it anymore. It's done. So I think it's also by setting your own constraints. I think that's really important.
I think it's important. But first of all, I'm going to say, Juan Camilo,
Yeah.
gracias por conectarte. Thank you very much for being with us. Te acabo de enviar los enlaces de Saverio, de ArtStation y de Instagram para que los revises y para que los sigas. Y si tienes preguntas o si tienen preguntas en el público, no duden en hacerlas. Me confirman por favor si escuchan bien, si todo está perfecto, ¿vale? Y nada, aquí seguiremos con Saverio porque está súper interesante la charla. Recuerden, si tienen preguntas, aunque sea en español, yo le puedo traducir a Saverio, háganlo, adelante, sin problema, ¿vale? Okay, I'm so sorry.
Thanks for translating it. I almost forgot that you had to answer back in Spanish.
Don't worry. Yeah, so actually I'm going to say it to them in Spanish. I was telling them that I just put your social media links in the chat here in YouTube. So, lo que dice Saverio es que él está poniendo todo su trabajo en Instagram, lo va a empezar a poner en Twitter y lo va a empezar a poner también de pronto en ArtStation, pero dice que ArtStation dificulta mucho la conexión con más artistas, entonces que él va a empezar a mover más sus redes sociales como Instagram y como Twitter. Así que síganlo para que sepan más sobre Saverio. Hola, Chen dice, welcome Chen, bienvenido. We have more people there, so they're going to ask some questions here.
Of course.
Yeah. I think it's super interesting what you said, because a lot of people use, of course, this is part of this NFT movement, but everyone is moving to Twitter. I don't know if there is like some kind of interest around it, but a lot of people is moving to Twitter. So I think we are going to do it. I mean, art guys and art people and art communities moving to Twitter. For example, I don't use Facebook anymore to publish art. Sometimes I do.
Same.
But it's like
I don't use Facebook. Man.
Just finish pieces just in serious groups. So maybe a recruiter looks for it. But most of it is Instagram, and that's it. I mean, I don't have a lot of time to post stuff, so Instagram is the stuff. And now it's moving to Twitter as well. And I don't know how, I don't know why, but I don't know if you feel the same. That ArtStation is like, I don't know why it is not so pro than it was some years ago. I don't know why I feel that, like.
Maybe it's because it's getting flooded with a lot of stuff. Because how I see Instagram, it's more like a journal. So it's like a visual journal. I just post, okay, I made this stuff. Here, check it out. And like you said about ArtStation, I was like, okay, this is more. These are the things I'm proud of. I'll share it with you guys. And I take stuff off when I think it's not relevant anymore. So it's more about updating and keeping your best work online. And when people start throwing everything on ArtStation as well, I think it's getting polluted with a lot of stuff. And I think it's not a bad thing, but it makes the platform different.
Yeah, but I've seen in feature and in the main gallery of ArtStation works that are not so good that they used to be sometimes ago. So I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Like, how
That's interesting.
how are they choosing the main art in the
Mhm.
gallery? And why are the standards different than they were some years ago? I don't know. I don't
I don't know,
understand so
man.
good.
No, yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's
There have
interesting.
been different platforms. In the past decades. Do you know CG Hub? It
I
was
knew I
before.
knew it. I knew it, but I didn't post it. I think
Yeah,
I never use it.
it has had like the same kind of feeling that ArtStation had, and then there was from Feng Su. He also made a site. I'm
Okay.
not sure if it's still here, but yeah. So there are a lot of competitors trying to make a new platform for artists, and I think ArtStation was really professional, and but I'm not sure where it's at now, so I have to check it out.
Yeah. Actually, me neither. I don't use it anymore too much. But it's so good. I mean, it's good, but
It
I don't know
is.
what's going on there. Like,
We'll see, man. We'll
we'll
see.
see. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
So, Saverio, how can you describe your style?
Um, Colorful. Now I like to think about silhouettes. I try to communicate just by the shape of the thing that I'm drawing. Um, I like to humor, like I said,
Cool. Yeah.
um, and something I like to have it. Most of the time I don't clean my work. I just make a sketch and I just draw on top of the sketch. And most of the times I keep the sketch in my final work. So I like to have that unrefined feel. I like to keep that in my work because the first sketch you do is the most spontaneous, it's the most honest sketch that you've done, and I try to have that in my work as well. But sometimes I do clean it though, but it's also a good practice. But I like to keep it fresh, keep it colorful, keep it fun. Um, yeah, those are the most important parts for me. Yeah. And I try
That's cool, man.
to to trigger an emotion for the people that see it.
That's so cool because somehow I feel so identified with you in this way because I love to do some humoristic stuff in my work.
Hmm.
I don't know, I love to do incongruence. A lot of big guys and with a lot of muscles, but
Yeah.
they are having a fart. For example, it's like
Yeah.
why is this guy so serious and this cannot have like something fun on it? Maybe a big guy, super muscular, but doing like a sexy selfie. I'm thinking
Yeah.
about it. Actually, I will try to do it in 3D.
Nice.
Yeah,
You can also
cool.
make a big guy and have him with a Nerf gun.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. That's a good part that I would like to explore, and that's what you do. So it's so cool, man.
Yeah,
That's nice.
I did like this cool looking guy with tattoos on his hands. But
Okay.
those are like the PlayStation the buttons that tattooed and like a Pac-Man on his hand. So yeah, that's also a funny way to tell like little stories in
That's so good, man. I don't know. Art doesn't have to be like so serious all the
It
time.
doesn't.
Yeah,
It
that's cool.
doesn't.
That's a cool part of it.
Yeah, it's your work, man.
Exactly, and
Yeah,
that comes back to the question of how do you find that an artwork is finished? It's your work. You know
it's
that.
your work. Yeah.
You know when it is
No,
finished or not.
I always say you are your own biggest judge.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
think it's
So you,
yeah. I think that needs also being like having an standard. Because when we are young and we don't know so much about the industry and we don't know so much about art, we do a lot of stuff that we think is the best stuff in the world. But if we don't have like a good standard of comparison, it's like okay.
yeah,
First of
you're
all,
just floating around. Yeah, yeah, true.
yeah. What is a typical client for you?
Oh, that's interesting. I do a lot of. I work a lot with a studio in Amsterdam, and it's really deep, it's really all over the place, to be honest. From shoe brands to like a charity against breast cancer, and I've done some character designs for animation. I've done stuff for stop motion. I'm at the current spot that I'm doing everything, and it's really fun. But it's not I can't just name one thing that's common between clients.
And which one do you prefer? Which kind of commercial work do you prefer? Like,
I actually okay. I like commercial stuff that challenge me doing something different, because I can do my own stuff in my personal work.
yeah,
That's
cool.
that's where I'm currently at. And sometimes when I'm asked for like creating like a character, then it's really fun to use a lot of my own flavor in that kind of project. So it depends. When I'm doing something really commercial, I really like to do something different. When it's within my comfort zone, I like to take it as my comfort zone. I like to have a good distinguishing between those two, because a commercial client maybe pays more, and like a fun project pays maybe less, but it's fun. So
Okay,
it's
okay,
yeah.
cool, man. That's interesting, man. And what do you think that working in traditional art is important,
Yeah,
or
hundred
just going
percent.
through digital art and that's it?
No, 100% traditional art as well, because that I think when making stuff digital, you can do a lot of stuff really quick, coloring, and it's really good to have like digital tools at hand. But the thing about drawing traditional, it's way different. Your thoughts and your drawings are way more connected. Um, you can do like intuitive stuff. You can just draw a line, and it feels that I start like that. I just pick a piece of paper. I just do this. I just draw lines
Uh huh.
until I see something inside of those lines, and then I think, oh, this can be a creature, or this can be a character. Um,
That's a good process, man.
and it's good to like technical. It's good to draw on paper as well, because a pencil you can hold it a lot of ways. You can use brushes, you can paint, um, and uh, if you know how traditional stuff works, I think you get a bit better understanding how to incorporate that knowledge into a digital platform. If you know how a certain brush responds, you know how to build digital painting as well. It's different, but there are some overlapping parts, I think. Um, Especially for me, when I started digital painting, I had this bamboo Wacom, and you had to draw like this. So you look that way, and your tablet was here. So it felt really way different from drawing just in a sketchbook.
Okay, yeah.
And then I translated to a Cintiq, and then it was direct on the screen. So it felt more connected with the traditional. So back then, it felt like I was training two kinds of knowledge. I was learning digital, and I was learning traditional. Uh, but I think it's good to keep drawing traditional as well, because um, I think that it's always a real challenge to see your level. Where am I at the moment with my traditional skills?
That's important as well. I think, yeah, if you can nail it traditionally, you can do it so good digitally, you know? Because
Yeah,
digitally you can move, you can scale, you can,
yeah. You can zoom in, you can rotate, and
yeah. Traditional is like you have to think a lot before you do a stroke.
yeah,
No, it's crazy. So Chen says goodbye, guys. I go to work. See you later, and thanks. Chen,
yeah, man.
thank you very much for being with us.
Thanks for
Big
watching.
hug for you. And I want to ask something about what do you want for Saverio now? What kind of projects do you want to take for now, or
I
would you
want
like
to.
to?
Yeah, I try to. I'm actually trying to invest in myself. So every project I do, I'm trying to save up to work more on my own project, because I really want to finish my short film that I'm working on, and I like to tell story. I wanted to tell stories, taking something complex and making it fun and enjoyable for people. So I want to. The most important thing for me at the moment is to do a lot of stuff, work related, but still is fun for me to do. So everything that I do, I try to change my perspective in such a way that I think, okay, this can be something fun.
Cool.
And, yeah, and I think for me, personal work is the most important at the end of the day.
That's so good, man. That's part of as well as the balance, between life and work, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool. What's your favorite work so far? Like,
That I've done,
yeah,
or
that you've done?
that's a hard question. That's a really hard question, to be honest. Yeah, because I've done this 100-day challenge, so I'm doing stuff every day.
You
So
have a
I
lot
don't have
of.
time to even know what I've done. But um,
Maybe there's one piece that you remember a lot. Maybe because it was
yeah,
hard for
the one
doing
that
it.
the one that you've used in the preview, I really was looking back and I was like, oh yeah, I really like that robot because it has like different stuff that I like to do. It has it has the motion. Oh,
It is there.
no, he has like the movement in his body. He has the colors. He has the shapes. Um, he has like everything I like to do, and even around the edges, I've added some flavor to it as well. Um,
Yeah, I could see that because I was trying to do the 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 big image for it,
yeah,
and I was trying. Okay, I cannot get out with the style of this guy, so I tried to put some flavor in the edges of the
yeah.
of the piece as well. That's cool, man.
And
I love it.
it's also a good balance between detailed and easy readable. Because if you look at from a distance, it's like a really the defined shape. And when you look into it, there are a lot of details as well, and it has the sketchiness as well. So I think this piece I really liked it. When I was because I was doing a different version of it, and I didn't feel it. I was like, no, I'm not gonna be able to do one today. And then I just scrapped it and I started over, and I did like a couple of sketches. I was even calling when I was drawing that, and I was like, yes, I really like the shapes of it. I was just happy while drawing it. I was constantly happy. Yeah, so this piece very resonated with me a lot.
That's good, man. And it is so dynamic,
Yeah,
in a different way.
even though it
It's so
stands still.
cool.
Yeah,
But I've seen a lot of great work, man. That I have to congratulate you because the way you choose your colors and the way you paint is so crazy, man. That I love it. I don't know if you're looking at this guy for now in the image, um, but it has a lot of colors. It
it does.
says scrap metal bought today for the patch prompt. It has a lot of colors there, and I love it. It's so good,
Thanks,
man.
man. Yeah.
Cool. So to finish this, what kind of advice would you give to us? To to success, for example, in the concept art work or in the illustration work or
I
in the
think
industry in general.
I'll always try to keep going at it. Like always make stuff. It doesn't have to be every day, but if you make stuff that you like to do, I think people will recognize your strengths, um, and you can turn it into something that's usable for a project. I think it's always important to keep developing yourself by making own stuff, and that's why I do these challenges. I do it to challenge myself, but also to show people what I do, and also to because sometimes people like that work a lot and want to work with you just because you do stuff that you like to do. I think that's very important, and but also be honest, be critical, um, uh, but not too perfectionist. So it's
Okay,
like
okay, okay. It's
it's
a
a it's a
balance.
it's a good balance, and have fun. I think having fun at making art is really important. Even though some days it sucks,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's fun. If that's the way you can look at it, then you're doing well. Yeah.
That's some really good advice, because sometimes I try to motivate people from CRAD to do
Yeah.
personal stuff, to do personal stuff, showing their own flavor, showing their own style, because as Soren one day said, Soren Zaragoza from Mexico,
Hmm.
a lot of clients that he have uh, found him because of his personal work, not because of his professional work. Because in his
Yeah.
personal work, he can show what he loves. He can show
Same.
what's his
Yeah.
flavor, and that's what you said now. So that's so good, man. And to have fun is also a really good advice. Sometimes we because I think I feel the same. We get so much into it, and we can get so frustrated sometimes.
Yeah. A
And
lot
if
of
you don't have
emotions. A
fun,
lot of things. Yeah.
yeah,
And one thing, well, just one more thing. Do challenges. And the reason I say do challenges is because
tell us a bit about your challenge, man, as well.
okay, let me tell you. I've done 100-day challenge, and just by making stuff since the 1st of January until yesterday, straight every day posting it online. I started with the Creationary challenge. Because I tried to doing it last year. I've been doing it for 4 years every January, but last year I didn't manage to finish it. So I felt a bit bad about it because.
Okay. But it is not easy as well.
Yeah, every year I set the bar a little bit higher, but in 2020 I set it a little bit too high to maintain that pace for me
Okay.
personally at that point. So this year I was like, okay, we're having a new quarantine. I'm sitting inside all day. I don't have perception of time. Let's put some routine into this life. Let's just make stuff every day. But my personal fear at that point was, can I do it for 30 days? Can I finish this 30-day challenge? So the first day it was really hard getting into it because I haven't drawn personal stuff for 3 months before that,
Okay.
and then I want to do like a 30-day challenge. It was really hard. So I was thinking a lot about it the first day. What am I gonna make, and how am I gonna do it? And so it worked out eventually. It took a lot of time. The second day, same story. Third day, same story.
Damn it.
But then it clicked. I was like, I can do it. I can do it. I can produce this level consistently.
Cool.
Let's just do the whole month. And then something turned. I got really hyped. I couldn't sleep. I had to draw all day. so I easily did those 31 days, and then I was like, I still have energy left. Let's do another challenge. So then some artists from the Netherlands, they had like a fun little challenge about frogs and reptiles, and so those were more studies. So I did like a study every day in my own style, and then the March of Robots came.
Yeah.
But the March of Robots was harder because those prompts were more abstract. So you had the prompt, you had to imagine it, and then you had to design it, and then you had to draw it, and then you had to finish it. But that one was hard, but it worked out. And then I had like 10 days left just to do my own stuff, and I think that was the hardest because I was at the 90 days, and it was like, whoa. Okay, let's go for the last mile.
Okay.
So a lot of stuff happened, but the nice thing is you get used to drawing every day. You get used to finishing something every day. You get used to improve, and some days it's not your best work, but it's still something you can be proud of. And I like to share like the journey with people as well. Yeah,
that's important. During the journey, we learn a lot of stuff, and maybe we don't post it. I have a lot of work that I haven't posted.
That's okay.
But I learned a lot during each one of these pieces. I post the things that I think they look kind of better, but still we learn a lot in this process. It's crazy.
Yeah, you can also do like a sketchbook challenge, like fill up a sketchbook in 3 months or something like that. So you can, and that's also fine. Nobody sees it, just you. You can do whatever. You can write in it. You can do studies. You can do some original characters or original ideas.
Man,
But
I just finished actually a sketchbook
nice.
of 100 pages, and it did it like in 2 months and a half.
Nice,
And
congrats.
that's that's so good, man. It's
Yeah.
like sometimes we have to finish one sketchbook, and one of the problems that I had is that sketchbooks were like just 50 pages, so it's so easy to finish one of them.
Mhm.
But I did, and I'm selling it, the CRAD sketchbook, you know, and it has
Awesome.
100 pages. So it's not easy to finish it, but I did it.
No.
So it's fucking crazy. It's so good. So yeah, I feel so proud of it. And when you mentioned it, it was so nice. This one is
But
another
exactly.
one.
Yeah. Nice. But that feeling, that feeling of accomplishment, I think that's also that's the payoff. You get really excited just by finishing it. It's like, whoa, I've done it. I can do it. If I can do this, what else can I do? There's a lot of stuff we can actually manage as human beings. So
That's so good, man. That's so good. And I want to congratulate you because of the challenge. I
Thank
want to
you.
congratulate you publicly now because it was a 100-day challenge, consistently doing it
Yeah.
every single day. And the last mile was the hardest because you didn't have like a constraint. It was
Yeah.
just you versus you, and it's amazing. I love your work. I love the colors that you use. I love the style. I love the humor in your work. So congratulations, man. And
Thanks, man. Really like your stuff as well.
we have a surprise for all the people here, but we will
Okay.
announce it later.
Yeah.
Because in July we're going to have this CRAD Art Fest event, and it's going to be crazy. It's going to be so good, and people, in 15 days we're going to know more about it. So thank you very much for being with us. Thank you very much for accepting the invitation again. Thank you very much, man, for the contributions to the industry. And
Thanks, man. Likewise, and thanks for having me on here and sharing my thoughts with you and with people watching. I really enjoyed it.
that's cool, man. That's cool. Anytime, whenever you want to come back, just let me know, and
Yeah.
you're so
Let's have
welcome
another
to
talk.
it.
Hopefully, in the future, we can have like a on a location we can just talk and
It's going to be, man. It's going to be like that,
Yeah.
Sooner than later, we're going to hang out to have some sketching sessions.
Exactly.
I'm going to say thank you very much for all the people that are watching the video. Muchas gracias a todos ustedes. Gracias por haber compartido con nosotros. Fue una charla muy, muy chévere. A Juan Camilo, a Chen, a los que nos están viendo. Una charla muy interesante. Así que gracias y nos estaremos viendo en el próximo CRAD Live. Un abrazo. Chao, chao. Cool, man. Thank you very much.
Yes.
It was so nice, man.